Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I have sneak peeks for you. I've got a sneak peek of Stampin' Die Bundle, sneak peek of free paper, and sneak peek of pretty embellishments that are up here. So it's stamps and dies that are coming out in the new spring catalogue. It's a bundle called Dainty Delight, very pretty, huge dies, and standalone dies as well. So this one here, this is a standalone, that's a standalone, so you could sort of put beautiful flowers and then you've got your outline dies as well. So that's a bundle called Dainty Delight, and you'll notice that Stampin' Up has started calling the dies the same. So this is Dainty Delight stamp set, Dainty Delight die, so that's really good. And then these gorgeous, really very pretty, what are they called, flat adhesive backed pearls, and they are oval, very pretty. And then finally, if you buy this bundle you can earn the paper pack for free, so it's very charming. So this is the one I'm going to be using, very nice, and look at that, that's gorgeous with the plainer backgrounds. How charming on the front of a card or something like that, or on the front of a box. Nice greens with the fresh freesia behind. This is the one I used before, and that's the reverse of it. And then that sheet with the pinks behind, and that's it. You can get it for free. So I'm going to make this lovely little flat-topped milk carton for you. Really good size. So this one was done with Rich Razzleberry, not a colour I've used for some time, but I'm using Starry Sky. I seem to be using a lot of Starry Sky at the moment. I love the colour. 10.5 inches by 6 1/4, which is 27 by 16 centimetres. Okay, so on the long side, score it at 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10 inches. Which in metric is 6.5, 13, 19.5 and 26. So it's 2.5 inches that way by that way by, I want to say 2 inches tall. It is. So it is 6.5 by 6.5 by 5 centimetres. Okay, then on the short side, score it at 2.5 and 4.5. which in metric is 6.5 and 11.5 centimetres. Then turn it over, don't turn it round, turn it over, and score it at 5 3/4 inches, which is 15 centimetres. Okay, come back to the long side, the original side, with this thin part at the top, and we're going to score it at 1 1/4, just down to that first score line, and at 6 1/4. Just down to the first score line. So in metric that's 3 1/4 centimetres and 16 1/4, and that's how I'm going to put these score lines in so that it closes really nicely. So grab your steel rule and score it from that point there. Oh, focus. Oh, it's going to focus on the tiniest little bit in the screen. From there to there and there to there. On both of them. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. I first made this box years and years ago, and I had seen, of all things, a milk jug. It was a pottery milk jug that was white, and it was very flat. Oh, this one that we scored the wrong way round, that you fold that in the other direction. Yes, it was a really squat milk jug, and it was all closed up like this apart from the little spout, and it was white and had blue flowers on it, and it must have been something like 2017 when I made the project, when I made my version of it, because we had a navy and white designer series paper pack at the time. Right, okay, I've cut my little panels here. They are measuring up at 2, 2 1/4 tall. No, they're not. They're 1 3/4 tall and 2 1/4 wide. And I'm looking for these blue ones because I want them to be on the front. So they're going to sit there. Well, the front is going to be this panel, and that's going to be the side next to it. So I'm going to pop these on. Did I tell you what they were in metric? Probably not. 6 by 4.5 centimetres. So yeah, 2 1/4 by 1 3/4 inches. 6 by 4.5 centimetres. And they're going to sit on this middle panel. And yeah, like I say, I wanted the bluer ones to be on show. I haven't done any cutting yet. Oops. Right, best do that. So, this little skinny section up here is the top. Cut a tiny mitre away, and then this long thin rectangle down here. Just lose that, don't need it. And then cut straight on the others. Okay. And then I'm going to run some tape along here. And just fold it round. Now, these flat sides are the front and the back. So these ones are going to go in the side. So you fold 2 sides in and the back, and then get some more adhesive on here. I'm using my seal for speed. And close it up. And where we put in these score lines, when you push it with your fingers at the top, it's just going to fold in on itself absolutely perfectly because we put the score lines in. And then grab one of my very favourite binder clips, library clips, whatever you want to call them, one of them, and let's do some stamping. Right, let me find a scrap of basic white. That's kind of scrappy. It'll do. So, which ones did I use? I used those 2 before. Oh no, I didn't. I used those 2. So I think I might try this one, and I'm going to go with that little sort of bubble one. I don't know what the flowers are called. This is me, I have no idea. I'm horticulturally challenged. So I'm going to get those 2 out, and there's one in there that I'm not using. I used it previously. And some long blocks. Do we think that is going to fit? Yes, it will. Okay, where are we? Starry Sky. I'm going to trim this down so I can get it through my mini cut and emboss. And have you heard, if you join my team in January or February, you can get a new, I want to say it's boho blue, but a new blue mini cut and emboss for free. You can also get the white one for free. But yeah, you can get the blue one, the new blue, for free. And lots of free stuff as well. So I've got some fresh washi because I dumped my last stuff. And de-stickify it on my hand. De-stickificationary. It's such a word, and if it's not, it should be a word. I said something like that to my husband the other day, and he looked at me and he was like, "Really, Sam?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a totally made up word, and it's a good one." And then he just continued to look at me. He knows me better than anybody else. It's a laugh a minute in our house sometimes when I make up silly words. You get what I mean? Right, so I'm going to send this through my Lovely little mini cut and emboss. I will say, I was never particularly one for die cutting. Certainly before I joined Stampin' Up. Heck, I didn't even do stamping when I joined Stampin' Up. Or before I joined Stampin' Up. I was a Celebration joiner. And yeah, I put some stamp sets in my online basket, my starter basket, starter kit even, can't think of the word. And didn't think to put any ink in, because that was sensible. Right, let's reuse the washi. I'm just sticking it on ink pads. Yeah, so I wasn't even a stamper, let alone die cutting. And even when I did join and I started stamping, I didn't do a huge amount of die cutting. I think because my machine was big and it was, you know, taking up space. And now this little diddy thing sits on the corner of my desk and it's there all the time and I remember to use it. Right, I'm taking my Wink of Stella and I'm just making that starry sky bleed a little bit. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up on camera, but we'll just pretend it's showing up really, really well and that you can see it. It just makes the colour sort of bleed, so you've got the white, the dark blue, and then you've got a pale blue. Might show a little better on these ones. Maybe. Yeah, my mini cut and emboss, it really made a huge difference. And I will buy stamps and dies with the every intention of using the dies. Or previously I would have the intention, then I would just think, oh, but it's the big machine and I've got to get it out and it takes up space and I just wouldn't use it very much. So this kind of made a huge difference to me. Okay, so what I want to do with these, I want to get some adhesive on the back, but just towards the bottom, because they are going to stick up a little bit above the box. So one there and one there. And then I'm going to get a phrase from the same stamp set. So we've got Celebrate You, the best is yet to come. Thank you for your kindness and sending love during this season of growth. I want to go Celebrate You, I think. What I will say about die cutting is it makes me look good. I don't have to do the cutting out. Somebody else has done it for me. Right, let me get these little scrappy edge pieces and hope that lines up fairly well. It does. Oh, and what is... Really? Ridiculous, isn't it? I'm going to put ink everywhere, I'm sure. I've got a slightly wibbly line at the top. I'm going to trim that down a bit more, I think. It feels a little bit long, or a little bit wide, I should say. Right, where are my dimensionals? Over here. A couple of those on the back, and that's just going to cover up the join down here. And then these gorgeous, I mean, these are lovely. Lovely gems, pearls, and they're the kind that are going to pick up any colour. So they look kind of pink here, but they look more greeny blue on this. One down at the bottom. And those, I think, are really lovely. They're lovely little gift boxes. Like I say, I've made them many times over and they're always popular. So, what a way to show off new stuff. See, look, that looks more green there, but it looks very pinky over here. It makes sense to me. Beautiful new stamp set. I love it. I'm sure you will too. Thank you ever so much for joining me. See you on Friday for the last Pootles Advent Countdown project of the year. Bye.